name is Rob Wilkinson. I go by Rob Elo as my stage name or what have you, and when I'm on posters, I have Rob Elo there. You know, I guess any performance format, whether I'm songwriting and being Rob Elo as an artist, which I do, or, you know, playing keyboards and backups for a band, you know, I go, hey, just, you know, put Rob Elo on the poster. I feel like that's how I want to market myself. But yeah, I'm a keyboard player and songwriter, initially from Vancouver Island, BC, and spent most of my life there and moved up here about 5 years ago. And I've just been really enjoying collaborating with as many musicians and artists in town as I can. Elo is my mom's maiden name, and that's kind of a homage to her and the family. Yeah, it was initially Ili. It's an Italian name, but they changed it to Elo when they got over here, and I initially thought it was, you know how some not Canadian-born folks will change their names to make it more, you know, pronounceable to Canadians. But I don't know, it's interesting because Elo is E-L-O, and people are like, Elo? You know, is that how you pronounce it? But yeah, it is Elo. That's how you pronounce it. It's my mom's maiden name. My mom is an incredibly creative person. She first taught me how to play guitar. Like, she was the first one who showed me, and there's these amazing, adorable black and white pictures of her and my cousin when, I guess like, you know, third cousin or something, when they're like 18 years old, and she used to play guitar and sing a lot. She doesn't play guitar as much anymore, but she is a huge part of Duncan, BC's performing arts community, and she sings in plays and she's acted in plays, and only in the last, you know, 10, 15 years, she's just started, you know, she dropped the guitar and sang for a while, but she started going really hard on that. And yeah, it's been really cool to see. It ties around to both of my parents, I think. There's this picture of me when I actually, when Naima and I got engaged just a while ago, and we had this engagement party with her family in Toronto, and my mom and her mom presented us with these baby photos of us. And mine was a photo of me singing into, and I must be like 5 or something, and I'm singing into there's like this railing it was at the front of a stage at this club that we were at or something when I was really young, and it was reflective, and I'm singing into this thing and just like singing. I just apparently just walked up there and started singing along with the band, and they got a photo. But the weird thing is, I remember it, or at least I think I do. Like, I remember looking into this thing and seeing colors in there, and they were reflections of, you know, the blues and greens, reflections of the band or whatever. And I started singing about those colors, and like singing about, I feel like I remember singing about cars. Like, I thought they looked like cars, which is so strange because I don't have many memories from when I was really young, but that is one that I swear I remember. And the fact that the photo is there, you know, it's one of those things though, you know, I've heard there's been tests done about when you look at photos of you as a baby and, you know, it's like, do you remember that or not? But I really feel like I do. And I feel like that was maybe an inkling of what I would become obsessed with later on. You make yourself a large latte to go. If there was any doubt before you say, now you know that you're sure we're fading fast. No sense in drawing on the past. We drive to this is really cool. And then I realized that it was kind of limitless. You could just kind of keep, especially with improvisation and jazz, you kind of just keep going with that. And there's always new things to learn and new parts of the language and new ways you can find that you can communicate with it. I know that sounds so pretentious, but like as I started learning piano like a language. Yes, exactly. That's when I was like, wow. And the piano it's an amazing instrument. Back in BC, I was quite involved in the music scene. It's interesting because for a long time I was a metal guy. Like when I was younger, and like 16 to like 20, I was playing a band and I would actually like yell and scream and stuff. And then heard a Coldplay album, and and I know how that sounds, but it's true. I actually went out to the record store and bought 2 metal albums, or 2 like hard rock. One was Slipknot, and the other one was like some other band, 10 Years or something, who was this rock band at the time. And then I had heard Coldplay on the radio once or twice, so I grabbed it, didn't expect to listen to it, and that was the only album that I listened to. I just kind of like played that over and over again. So anyway, that is to say, metal and kind of pop rock is what I was playing a bunch on Vancouver Island, and then I went into jazz school for a couple of years there, and started playing all sorts of music, from like jazz very badly to like funk and indie rock and all sorts of things. The most recent things I was doing right before I left was heavy metal in a rock band called The Body Politic. And then as part of the group that I'm still in now called Hard Times, and we played weird jazz R&B type of music. I went to Vancouver Island University for their late jazz program, which actually just got shut down a couple of years ago, which is really, really sad. It sucks for all the alumni and so many of the community who wrote letters to try and keep it open, but they just didn't have the funding. But I was lucky enough to be there for 3 years, and I just did my diploma, and I did the second year in 2 years because I was like, I need to practice. So I just wanted to, I feel like it was just so much information at once. And so for the first year, I was completely overwhelmed, and the second and third year, I was also completely overwhelmed, but I had more time to play, and I was really trying to make more time. But yeah, I was only there for 3 years, but that really fostered so many of the connections I had in Nanaimo and on the island. No, I can't. No, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. And I'm sure everyone who you said this to has all said the same thing. Do not be envious, man. Like, I mean, some people thrive in school situations, and I have friends that go to school, have gone to school for music and are fantastic musicians, and some of them are performing a lot. And I have friends that are incredible musicians who did not go to school at all and just kind of like did their own thing. And music, like life, I think, like a lot of it, except, maybe if you're like a scientist or something, you should probably go to school. But I mean, like music, a lot of it is street smartness and being, knowing what it's like to be out on the scene. And you can know all the theory and you can know all the chords and stuff like that. But if you don't know how to play with people and you don't know how to, market yourself as a musician, which is, like, and kind of develop your music career and push your skills in a way that is actually helpful and effective, which is, again, like schools by their kind of nature with like a curriculum, and especially these days, it's like by the time you've done a 4-year program that's been pre-planned, the music industry has totally changed. So like music school will encourage you it'll put you in like a pressure cooker of musicians, and that's a great thing, like to be with a lot of musicians who are striving to be better at the same time. It can really accelerate your growth and really encourage you to practice. But if I don't know, I learned like 3 years in music school was so helpful and so amazing, but it took me 10 years to digest that information, and I feel like I'm learning with the musicians that I play with now and stuff. I'm learning at least as much as I did in school, and it's really interesting. It's funny because at the time, like, I wanted to be better on my instrument. Like, I did love the piano, even though it's funny, like I learned to love the piano. It took me a long time to really learn to love the piano like I do now. And in school, I didn't love jazz, and I didn't really love the piano. Like, not like with how I love it now, but like, I remember saying to my piano teacher in first year, he's like, why do you want to play? It might have even been second year. I was like, like the piano is great. I know it's a foundational instrument, and like I might help me with playing other things, like playing, the guitar, ukulele. And he's like, you don't learn piano because you want to play the guitar, man. I was like, that is a good point. And I was like, no, I like it. And I did, like, but it was funny, even with jazz, I was still playing pop music when I was in university. And I was like, I didn't get into the jazz scene as much as, now. I'm like, oh man, to be in that environment again, I would do things, but obviously I couldn't help where my head was at the time. But yeah, it's interesting how long it took, even being there around all those jazz musicians and listening to so much great music. It took me again, like, at least a decade to digest it and to be like, oh, like now I get why we were there. Now I understand the language in a way that I certainly didn't when I was. And I know a lot of players, except for the really amazing guys who have been playing since they were 10 and really digging it since they were 10. But a lot of the great players I know now are the same way, where they were like, wow, like it took a long time after doing the degree before I was like, wow, now I can at least play some semblance of what they were teaching. I'm sure maybe you understand in some ways where the greatest, maybe a great strength is also a flaw at the same time. It's a double-edged sword where, like, I just want to make music with everybody, and there's so many great musicians, and you meet them, and a lot of creative folks feel the same way. Like, you meet somebody, you enjoy playing whatever music it is that you're playing, whether you meet them at like a jam session, or whether you get, I don't know, somebody's looking for a musician, you sign up and you're hired as part of the band, and then you meet these people, and it's like, if you like playing together, you just, you want to do more things. And everyone, Vishwa is a great example, is like, likes a surprising amount of styles. Like, you start talking about, with another musician, and you're like, oh man, like you dig like this, you dig blues as well, like you dig, this, you dig this weird brand of metal or pop as well. Like, man, we should do a project like that. And then, and then things get going. So that's kind of, meeting people in the scene through those ways, through jams or through gigs, and then one thing leads to another, and another time, they're looking for a piano player, and maybe I'm looking for a guitar player, and we know who to call, and then your root system only gets larger, I think groove is something that I'm obsessed with. Like, that is for musically, like not lyrically necessarily, but musically, groove is kind of at the heart of it. So I like all the music that I make to have a steady groove, whether it's something really simple or something quite complex. I want to kind of infuse whatever I write with that. So I guess that's the core of it. Musically, it has to be groovy. And then I've been trying to toe the line with like not sounding too much like Death Cab for Cutie, but but it kind of comes out that way because Benjamin Gibbard, the singer of that group, his voice is beautiful, and his lyrics are just so poetic. And I feel like that's going to be a focus of music going forward. I have been really focused on groove and on some sort of complexity. I think with music that I write going forward, at least this is today, is what I'm feeling, is that I'm going to move my focus to songwriting, to actually being able to like craft a good song and be like, okay, it doesn't need these bells and whistles, and then I can put the bells and whistles in after I know how to do that. But yeah, I think because lyrics are a really important thing to me as well, and it's amazing how you can have such a simple song with beautiful lyrics and it's well communicated. So I aspire to do things like that, but yeah, I think a lot of my outlet right now is groove and rhythmic complexity. Well, it's funny, I almost feel embarrassed by that, because I'm like these guys are doing this anyway, and they have full-time jobs like you, man. I'm like, how do you do what you do? Like I have a teaching job that I can, luckily make flexible around this, and I've been doing it with one side of it at least. I've been doing it long enough where I don't need much prep to do it. I can just kind of do. But that's the thing. Like, I can't imagine working any more than that, and having a house and a dog and like all this stuff. It's like the time just goes. So yeah, that's, I am so in awe of everyone else who's able to work that government job, like, contribute. You're contributing to your town, and then still managing to collaborate in so many ways. Like again, Vishwa, great example. Are you somehow able to film music videos and do this thing and be a great musician and work your full-time job? It's like that's incredible. It's one of those things where you have to. The thing I enjoyed most about it was meeting other musicians and networking, and also bringing, and obviously coming down with Carmen Braden and her band and all the great guys and musicians in her band. But yeah, bringing some musicians from out west to play with me, my good friends and amazing musicians, musical mentors, Jesse McNeil and Matt Asen are friends of mine, and guitar player who played bass on my music, and drummer. And they backed me up, as well as Carmen backed me up on vocals, which was great. And that was the first time I played any of my music with an actual band, because other than, brief things here and there, but this is like our first full set. And so for me, it was a lot about expectations. It was like, okay, like I had to go into it, like I was excited to be there. We're flying into town, into Winnipeg, which is like, it's funny because, Winnipeg can be gross in certain areas, but there's no denying that so many fantastic musicians have come out of that place. Like, it's wild when you look at the history of the musicians that have come out of there, and some of the greatest musicians now, even if they're kind of underground, is wild. Like, it's a amazing town for music. So it's great to be there, and just to have the expectation where I was like, okay, I'm going to play this music with some of my best friends and some of the best musicians I know, and we're going to do as well as we can, and this is going to be a good experience. I'm not expecting some industry execs to come walking up. It's more getting the experience. I reached out to as many people as I could ahead of time. I wanted to make connections, but one of the best connections I made was not intentional, where CBC Winnipeg reached out and was like, hey, like, you should come play some music on air. And that was actually the first time we played it, was on air there, which was great. And again, like, these are tough songs, like, again, because I tend to be like, can we do this weird rhythmic thing? But these are great musicians. I think we did as great as we could have. And that was like, everyone at CBC was so kind and so down to earth, yet so professional, and it was just such a great time. So that was great. And then the shows, went as well as they could have. It was nice to see familiar faces there and new faces and get compliments. So yeah, it was great, and I think I did a good job of setting my expectations and being like, okay, like, this is what I want, and all of those things are within my control, I've played guitar for a long time. I've played guitar probably longer than, oh no, I haven't played guitar longer than I played piano, but I've had a love with the guitar, and even before going to music school for piano, I was like, should I go for a guitar? I was like playing a lot more guitar, playing just tons of pentatonic scales, thinking I was actually, playing some cool stuff. And yeah, I love playing guitar. But what is more new is I usually play folk music on the guitar. I absolutely love playing like finger picking songs and things like that. But country music, like modern country music, is like something that, I got into a little bit, like 8 years ago or so, but now, with great guys like Welder's Daughter, like they play and playing in that band, or, with Tom Benkei, the amazing bass player of Welder's Daughter and singer, he showed me so much great country music. I was like, wow, this is like the real shit, like, like not like modern pop country.
150.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cold beer, but which is still good, which I still actually love. Like, it has infected me for sure. But the playing legit country with those guys really was like, oh wow, like I do actually like this. Like, it's not just the cotton candy stuff that I've been fed that is supposed to be addicting. It's like the real. I dig the real stuff. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing more of that stuff. The opportunity here is amazing, where it's like, guys like you, like that are willing and to make the time to like sit down with us, and we can tell our stories, and the community can get tighter, and we can collaborate more, and we can create more opportunities and more things happening, and kind of make Yellowknife an even more exciting place to be. I just think it's just such a, everyone here, there seems to be among artists, and I hope among other things, I think there are, but like there's a camaraderie, almost like this underlying, oh my God, we're in Yellowknife, hey? Like that just seems to always kind of pervade everything that everyone's doing, and we all have some, like, as artists, we are all kind of like, wow, we're in Yellowknife, so we better make some stuff happen. Like, let's get, like, the swing band. Of course, we're doing the swing band. I should have mentioned the swing band, where we got shows coming up in May, I think. But yeah, like the swing band is the perfect example of that, where Al Jones moves up here from Edmonton. He goes, oh, I need swing music. I need to be in a group like that. And he cobbles together every musician he can. And now look what it is. Now we're, 22 musicians with a board, and who puts on, at least triannual shows is kind of what we're going for, and getting better all the time. And that the swing band is like the perfect epitome of the Yellowknife scene, I guess, where you build it, and because the Yellowknife community is so awesome, they will come up. Everyone is so like, people who appreciate art have kind of the same vibe as the artists who are making it. I feel like, where it's like, oh yes, like, we're up in Yellowknife, hey, there's this going on, we gotta check that out, because we're in Yellowknife, and we don't, that doesn't happen very often. And so that kind of provides the fire for artists to create what they do, because we know that people will be down, we know that people will appreciate it. So yeah, it's been really great, and the opportunities to do whatever I kind of want to do seem to be all over the place, and I'm really appreciative of that. Well, it's really cool to hear from other epic guys like Norm Glowich and Pat. Like, these guys have
Played together for over 50 years.
I know, it's crazy, and it's so, like, I have such respect for those guys, and when they say stuff like, like Yellowknife is experiencing a resurgence of music, that's so exciting to me. It's like, wow, these guys have been doing it forever. They've been here through all, because apparently Yellowknife will have ups and downs. Like, you were here in COVID. Apparently things kind of dried up for a while, I guess. Yeah. And so, people say that the scene is kind of on the up, so I'm just stoked to be a part of it. I just want to contribute to it.